Bitcoin has created a brand new low at $15,500. Along with this, the RSI on the 3-day chart has dropped below the critical horizontal support at 34.34. In history, this level has provided a massive trigger for collapses of 20% and upwards. Let's go ahead, dive into the charts, discuss the RSI, and talk about potential bottoms or continuations to the downside. Okay, Mega Wealth team, welcome back to the channel, guys. Thanks for tuning into today's video. We're going to go ahead and take a look at Bitcoin today and discuss the price action. Obviously, we created a brand new low in the last 12 hours at around 15,500. It was actually a few dollars below. It was like 15,497, just a couple dollars below. We'll talk about what that means. We'll talk about the trend, what kind of structure we are developing here, where we can go next. And of course, I do want to talk about the 34.34 on the RSI, because the 34.34 on the 3-day chart particularly is something that we've been talking about for many months now. As you can see, 7 months ago, even 2 months ago, we've talked about this level many times. And the reason why we talk about this level is because this level here does indicate a point of massive momentum horizontal support on the RSI. Meaning that usually when we break below this level on the 3-day chart, we generally see quite a volatile and big move to follow. And we'll go throughout in today's video. We'll show you the historical price action based on that, and we'll infer some probabilities and potential price directions based on what it is doing now. But just to let you know, we are technically underneath the 34.34 as of right now. Let's go ahead and get into the market data. So starting off with Bitcoin over here, we can see the quarterly returns. What you can see over here is that negative 18.74. Obviously, as we saw before, we were around negative 17. So we have dropped a little bit over in the last 24 hours, another 2% or so since our video yesterday. We did see a small little rally to the upside in yesterday's video. We saw a drop below, of course, but we did see a small little rally back up to retest this upward sloping resistance, which is this upward sloping resistance, that upward sloping support, should I say, of this pennant formation. We did actually reject from there for a support resistance slip and head back down. Now, of course, guys, if you are in the Telegram channel, you would have seen all of this. Obviously, this is the Telegram channel over here. We gave you all these updates here. So you can go ahead and access the Telegram channel with a link in the description. Of course, if you're interested in the VIP channel, you get access to all of our updates, analysis, signals. As you can see, a trade signal over here, 189% profit on that one. Specific entries, targets, stop loss, all that kind of stuff, all in our VIP channel right over here. Of course, smash the like button, subscribe down below, and comment if you have any questions. So we did see that reversal. We saw that support resistance flip, and we saw a move back into this range over here. Looking at volatility, the volatility hasn't moved too much, or around 4.11 still, hasn't moved too much. Again, it will take a few days for that volatility to start moving, as it does price in these relatively low periods. After all, we did have about a 20-day period where we were under 2%, if not even lower, followed by a pretty significant surge, and then we had like a 10 or 15-day period where we're sitting around 4.1, meaning that intraday volatility was very low. So it is going to take some time for this volatility to kind of catch up and account for the recent price action. But just by looking at the price action already, we do see a lot of price movement, and usually when we see a lot of price movement, particularly steep directions, we know volatility has risen, okay? Because one of the main things that determines continuations or directional moves is volatility. When volatility starts to taper down, meaning decreasing or compressing or moving sideways, meaning the day-to-day change becomes less and less, we see these compressions, okay, and sideways consolidations. And then when we see these bursts in volume, we generally see the price action make these directional moves, which is exactly what we have seen. So we know volatility has picked up, and we know that is confirmed. If we go ahead and take a look at liquidations, we can see liquidations are coming up over a 24-hour period. So there's a lot more price action in the market, a lot more movement, and obviously we are coming down to some pretty significant levels. Let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the market. So DXY has done what we said. We broke out of this descending wedge formation, descending channel formation over here. We did retest it. We came up, we pushed above finally this 107.6 level, which we were talking about yesterday's video. This is where it becomes interesting, guys, because we're at a point in the market now where either we could see a rejection on the DXY and continuation downwards, Bitcoin will recover, it will rally a little bit, or we're seeing a point where we're going to see the DXY find support, flip this level over here, and rally upwards to 109, guys, and that will send Bitcoin massively down. We'll come back and talk about that one later in the video, particularly when we're talking about the 34.34 on the RSI. That is very relevant because there's no coincidence that this is happening at the same time. The 34.34 is going to trigger a big move, and we'll talk about that later in the video. Moving on from here, total crypto market cap is actually at a major area of support again. This really is that last leg of support before a huge move to the downside, okay? If we fail to remain above this level being 737 billion on the total crypto market cap, we will see an explosive and probably pretty volatile move towards the downside. We're expecting a move down to around 574, potentially 533. That will bring Bitcoin under 14,000, probably around 13.9 to $12,000 if that move occurs, okay? So we are on the verge of seeing that move occur. Now, if we go ahead and actually bring up the VRPV over here, and I'll go ahead and bring it up on the total crypto market cap, you can see on the chart already, we have this gap in the volume on the historical horizontal range over here. So this is the VRPV. It represents, trading volume over historical range. You can see we already have this gap. The next real big spike over here is around 574 to 533, which corresponds to Bitcoin at around 13.9 to 12. Okay. Same on the Bitcoin chart. We do have a pretty big gap over here. If we go ahead and take a look at the Bitcoin chart, and I'll show you over here again on the daily over here. We'll go ahead and zoom out. You can see where this gap is on the daily right over here. Let me go ahead and zoom out. There it is. Okay, you can see that gap. It takes us down to this chunk over here. Again, this little peak over here corresponds to that same point on the total crypto market cap, which is around 574 to 533. So if we do lose this level, we are currently testing support, okay? Losing that previous low on Bitcoin, which we just developed, which was 550, so 15,550, we can expect an aggressive continuation towards the downside. Moving on from there, guys, the total market's looking okay. We do have the Dow Jones again, that's still acting as resistance. This $34,000 level, we really haven't broken through there. We've been testing it for a very long time now. We are going to see a directional move. All right, again, after these long periods of consolidation, we generally see explosive moves. So generally, the longer consolidation, the longer resistance, the more aggressive the move downwards. Or if we do break above, the more aggressive the move upwards. Again, a lot does depend on what the DXY does here, so we are keeping a close eye on those. And of course, these markets can be leading indicators to what Bitcoin does. So if these do break upwards, we'll be looking at Bitcoin in a different light and potentially expecting or looking for at least some sign of reversal. The same goes for the Dow Jones, or should I say the S&P 500. We do have this downward descending resistance over here. This is that resistance level that we do need to break out of to see any sort of move to the upside. Until then, 4,000 is acting as that major resistance. Okay, let's go ahead and get into Bitcoin in a small time frame. So what we saw yesterday was a very clear breakdown, retest, and rejection. Again, very clear support resistance slip. Okay, so it's a confirmation of the breakdown. We had that confirmation over here. This was a confirmation, and we had that continuation into that support zone. And that support zone wasn't a random zone, like we said already. We've been outlining the support zone for many days over here now. Even on the channel over here, you can see we were talking about this. If you can see it, there's a red zone over here before it even occurred. So we're talking about a move back down to this level over here. And this level is an important level as it did mark the bottom point. Okay, so we did the bottom point of the low on the 10th of November and the bottom of the low on the 14th of November. And it was a distance between those 2 points, which we expected to go along and basically carry on as a resistance or support, depending on what side you're on it, and that is where we are now. So losing this level here will confirm the loss and breakdown of these levels, okay, but currently it's still testing this range of support. So losing this level below here, and by losing I mean we want to see like an hourly close below. That's all it's going to take, like an hourly close below. It will confirm the breakdown of that level, and then we can expect a continuation downwards. A continuation downwards, guys, we are expecting a drop below 15,000, potentially to 13,900. And again, the reason why we say 13,900, if we go ahead and take a look at the VRPV over here, and we're looking at your nearest horizontal supports, what does stand out the most is this particular level here, okay? We'll go ahead and zoom in it. This particular level right over here stands out the most, and we can see 13,900 right here. We see a lot of drawings going on here, 13,900 top, okay? to that next top, which is around $12,000. We extend that horizontally, we can see that support zone. So now we have a confirmed range. Okay, we have this consolidation finally breaking back above 13,900, explosive move. Same with what we're seeing here, consolidation at tight resistance. The longer it consolidates, when it breaks those tight resistances, we see explosive moves. So we do have a confirmed horizontal range over here that we are looking at for support. So that is how we come to that target over there. The next move down will take us around to 13,900 to potentially $12,000. Let's go ahead and take a look at the immediate short term, however, and discuss what our next move will be. So we'll go ahead and delete some of this on the chart and go down to that smaller time frame and take a look. Looking for an honest, reliable, and accurate exchange that you can trust to trade on, go ahead and sign up to BitGet with the link down below and join myself and all of our other VIP members and other members who trade on BitGet daily. There's a whole range of benefits and features you can actually get by trading on BitGet. These include no government regulations, meaning you can sign up from anywhere in the world. There's no KYC, 0% trading fees on spot, massively reduced trading fees on futures. It's one of the lowest in the game. And most importantly, access to their protection fund. In case the exchange gets hacked, you can actually get reimbursed for your funds, so you can ensure your funds are safe. Now, most importantly, if you do sign up with the link down below, that first link, you'll get access to 2 additional features. These include access to a reward center where you can get up to $4,163 in rewards, and access to the Mega Whale exclusive referral link, bonus discounts. Every other month we do bonus campaigns. We get up to 10% off your trading fees, or even you get a percentage of your trading fees refunded to your account as USDT. Essentially, you get paid to be on the exchange. That's enough, guys. We'll get back into the video. Okay guys, let's go ahead and talk about the short term. So what we are seeing here is a descending channel, and this is no surprise, guys. We are expecting to see some degree of support or defense along this horizontal support zone. If we go ahead and flip the chart, what we can see is, again, we are seeing a rising channel, and both this rising channel or a descending channel, they're reversal patterns. So they do indicate points on the chart where we could potentially see a reversal in the trend, in the structure. Generally, when we do break to the top side, and by break to the top side, I do need to see a close. This wasn't a close. We do want to see a 15-minute close above this descending trend line. We can expect a continuation to the next resistance. That next resistance being 16,200 to 16,300 again. So it's a good chance we do come and retest that, even in this time frame again, and retest that. The question occurs to me is, what occurs if this whole level here is defended on the larger time frame as support and we do not lose it again? Well, we're looking at those similar levels and structures we were talking about yesterday. For us to see any sort of move to the upside, we will need to reclaim this structure, okay? This structure that we broke down from will need to be reclaimed. If that structure is reclaimed, we then need to break to the upside. If we do break to the upside, this 17,300 level does need to be broken. That enables us to retest 18,100. The reason why 18,100 is such a key level is because it actually represents that horizontal support zone of the descending triangle pattern we had over the last 4 months, okay? So breaking back through here enables us to reclaim this level, and that will give us another chance at breaking through this downward trending resistance of the descending channel. So there's a whole heap of resistance above us right now, but that is the optimistic outlook. If we do push upwards, we do break through these levels, those are the key trigger points we're looking for potential continuations to the upside. Obviously, to the downside, guys, we have already talked about that. There's a chance we do actually continue this trend until we lose this level. It doesn't really matter what happens in this trend. If we do continue downwards and lose this level while still in this descending channel, we should actually ignore any kind of breakup that would sustain. We could see some sort of little move up and consolidate, but we should continue back downwards. So the question is, will we be breaking through and up here, or will we be breaking down here first? So those are 2 key levels we're looking at. Let's go ahead and take a look, guys, at the 34.34. Since this is kind of the main chunk of today's video and the important thing I do want to discuss. So every single time we lose a 34.34, we do actually see a significant move on the price action. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and input some over here. Okay, we'll just go ahead and input some of the most recent ones, some of the more major ones that you can see in the chart, the ones that really stand out. Even, you know, in recent days, recent dates will actually come down and broken through. We actually broke through on the 18th, so a couple days ago. on the 3-day chart we did break through. But I'm gonna go ahead and you can see these vertical levels are actually placed in, and we'll go through in a second and discuss. I think that's good enough. Obviously, if I go further back, you'll see a couple more over here. And you know what, why not? We'll just go ahead and do it over here. Why not? Show you guys how valid this level really actually truly is. Once again there, and again, you know, we're breaking through at this point over here. And again, this was kind of the bottom. But let's go ahead and take a look. So usually every single time we break down from the 34.34, starting on that candle it breaks, we see a significant move down. That was 47%. Okay, from here, we saw 48%. Moving up all the way to around 2018, you know, moving on to that candle over here, we saw 50%. The 2020 COVID crash even lost that 34.34, a 57% move. Moving into 2020, the more recent one was around the start of the year, January. We saw a pretty significant 23% move. We saw it again in May. We saw a significant 32% move. We told you about this again in June, warning you guys about it in June, and we saw another 41% move, and we're seeing it happen again now. So the question is, how far will it go? And if we go ahead and take a look at the averages over here, it averages to around about 40-ish%, give or take a little bit. So assuming we do drop around 40% from here, that could actually take us quite low. It could actually take us to that $10,000 level. So there is actually an argument to be made for the RSI that a $10,000 level target is possible. But here is the thing. If we go ahead and take a look at the macro structure for Bitcoin, particularly the horizontal support ranges, where is the main chunk of support for the chart? Where is the main chunk of support? If we come down, we're hitting the main chunk of support right over here. That is 12,200, okay? So for us to drop to 10,000, okay, we do need to push through a significant amount of support over here to reach the absolute peak, which is around 9,200, okay? So for us to assume we're gonna come down and cut through the support level like butter really, really easily is quite a bold assumption. You're better off expecting a support resistance flip or some sort of bounce within this upper support range, or just when we're reaching the support, then for us to crash deep into this area with a lot of long-term buyers, a lot of long-term holders, and a lot of people looking to enter the market at this level, okay? So keep aware of that level, guys. 34.34 is crossing. Every single time we lose this level, we do see a continuation downwards, and of course, this could be an argument towards the fact that we are going to see some degree of a drop lower than this current range, which could send us much, much lower, okay? We'll elaborate it in the future. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Cheers.